everybody, I'm Corinne Blackstone and welcome to my craft room. Before we get started, be sure to check out my Facebook group listed down below. You can join, we post lots of fun things over there. You can check out all of everybody else's crafts, post your own crafts, and get to know other crafters. In today's video, I'm going to show you something that I've seen trending a lot lately, and that is the sun catcher sticker. This is a super fun thing that you can make, and it's really easy with your Cricut or your other die cutting machines. I'm going to use my Cricut for this, and I'll link everything that we're using down below. But this is such a fun product, and it's really cool and super trendy. People are loving these. You can use these in your home, in your car, office, pretty much anywhere, but you need a sunny window to make these as amazing as they can be. So let's get started.
Whatever we would do, we do it just for fun.
Now you can do this with any of your cutting softwares, any of your cutting machines, but we're going to use the Cricut for this. So I want to use a Cricut image. It's just super easy, but you can use any image that you want to. I'm going to go into my images, and I already searched for crystal, so I know which one I want to use, but I just thought it was a fun one. Crystals always look kind of pretty with the rainbow. So we're going to scroll down and find a crystal cluster that we like. They have lots of options. There's so many different things to choose from. And again, you can really make this any way that you want with any kind of design that you want. But I really liked this crystal design. I thought this one was super duper fun. So I'm going to select it and click Add to Canvas down here in the lower right-hand corner. Once it's added to my canvas, I'm going to resize it first before I do anything else. And I do want this one to be relatively large. I want it to be about 6 inches wide. So I just kind of pull it out to about where I think I want it to be. Once I've done that, I want to actually duplicate this. I'm going to create a background for it for the sun catcher portion, and then this portion is going to be vinyl. So all I'll simply need to do is select contour, which is in the lower right-hand corner. And it will bring up the hide contour screen here. All I need to do is select the word hide all contours. That is going to make my design a solid shape. Now I'm going to right click on this and click send to back. And then I'm just going to change the color on it so that it's a little easier to see. Now what you'll do is you can see how it's going to look once you assemble it. You're going to put your vinyl right on top of it. It's going to look super cute. Really fun. Now, let's say we just want to be able to have a little offset on this because I want this to be just slightly larger than our actual crystals. That's going to make it easier to line up. So what I do is I'm going to select my design and I'm going to select the word offset. Now, making the design bigger is not the way I want to go with this because I find that doing that does distort it just a little bit. So I'm just going to make a slight offset. It doesn't need to be a very big one. I just want it to be a little bit larger than the design. So all I'm going to do is click apply. I'm going to select both of the designs, so the yellow and the black, and I'm going to weld those. Now I'm just going to change it back to yellow again just to make it easier to see. But now what you'll see is that when I go to place this on top, which we need to select it and send to front, you'll see that I have a little bit more of an edge now. That's going to allow me to place my vinyl a little bit easier than trying to get it directly on the edge of our sun catcher film. I think this is perfect. We are basically ready to go. You don't need to do anything too crazy special when creating this other than maybe adding that slight offset. Now what I want to do is click the word make it. Now, the problem being here is that it wants to cut my offset first, which I don't really want it to do. So what I'm going to do, let me hit cancel and see if I can get it to cut the vinyl first, because I want to be able to lay this design just directly on the mat. It's going to be a lot easier if your window cling is stuck to your mat. So what we'll do is we're going to go ahead and just try changing the color on this. Sometimes just changing a color can actually make it cut in a different order. Perfect. That's all I wanted it to do. I just wanted to cut my vinyl first. Now we're going to be using a holographic vinyl from StarCraft. It's really pretty. I'm going to link everything that we're using down below for you guys. That way you can find everything super easy. So we have, this is our vinyl, and then that's going to be our window cling. So it's really easy to tell the difference. You don't need to mirror or do anything with these at all. Go ahead and click continue. Our first item is going to cut on vinyl. I typically cut this with vinyl and more pressure. That makes it just a little bit easier to cut with the holographic. I find that that just works a little bit better for me. This is the gorgeous holographic vinyl that we're using. So we'll just load this onto our mat just like we would any other vinyl. You want to do it color side up and then press it down. Now with this, you don't want to use a squeegee over top of it while it's just plain because you could scratch it. So I tend to just use my hands. Go ahead and load this in. We will let this cut out, and then the next part that we're going to do is going to be the window cling. Now we need to get our window cling. It comes in a big roll and it's definitely not measured. So what I like to do is I just kind of roll out one edge of the cling and put it on to my mat. And obviously we know about how large we made our design. So we just need to kind of make this that size or a little bit bigger. So you can always, now this I do like to use a squeegee on just to be sure that it is held down to the mat, because you can see it does curl a little bit because it's kind of a heavier plastic material. So I'm just going to give it a little squeegee, and you can use your squeegee on this. It's okay. You don't need to worry about like scratching it or anything. It's plasticky, so it's made to have a squeegee on it. So it'll be okay. Now again, we want to make sure we put the right cut setting on this. Now we're ready to cut our window cling. Now I found that using the medium cardstock setting works best with my window cling, but you'll want to do a little bit of a test cut on your machine just to see which setting works best for you. Once you've got the correct cut setting, you can go ahead and load your mat. It is going to go ahead and cut this out, and then we can apply our vinyl. We'll get that weeded as well. This cuts out pretty quickly, so we'll go ahead and unload, and I'm going to leave this on the mat for now. Let's go ahead and get our decal weeded, and then we can get everything applied. All right, so now we've got our window cling here. I haven't removed the edge. So what we'll do is just kind of weed the edge off of the design. Now, mine does have a protective backing that I do tend to like to leave on it. It doesn't tend to cut through, which is fine. That's no big deal. We can leave it not cut through. But I do like to leave that on. I found that that actually worked a little bit better with the window cling itself. Now, you can sort of see the window cling here, and we have our decal. Now we need to get a little bit of transfer tape for this. I'm just going to use the medium tack by Style Tack. I'm almost done with this roll, so that's why it looks very brown. We're almost finished with this roll. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and place my decal face down onto my roll of transfer tape and burnish this down. I have you guys pretty close to the view here because it is a little difficult to see this little decal. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this out from my transfer tape. Okay. And we have our decal ready to go. Now, one thing I will mention is that this is hard to see. I do like to use the parchment paper method when I'm working with this. That way you can line everything up really simply and nothing's gonna stick. So you can see that I have my parchment paper like to the very edge. The decal is right here. Now this again is super hard to see, so you may need to take some time and really spend a few minutes with your decal. Now I am gonna pull this off of our backing here, and we're just gonna go nice and slow. Okay, so we're getting our vinyl decal off. Again, I'm just taking my time. Make sure everything comes off nice and neat. And then I'm gonna flip it so that just the tip of the gem here is on our, is off of our parchment paper. Now, one thing I will say is that sometimes even on this mat, this backing can make it really hard to see. So what you can do, and this is not, you don't have to do this, but you'll see that it does curl because it was in a roll. So that's why I recommend doing this on the mat. I'm actually going to go ahead and take this off of the backing paper and put this directly onto the mat. It makes it a little easier to see it because you can see that it makes a dark line. Sometimes you can leave it on, sometimes you can't. It's just a matter of like how well you can see through it. And you can use the feel to kind of make sure you've got everything lined up. And remember, I left a really small offset, so we have to keep that in mind as well. Our offset was pretty tiny on this. So I'm just going to kind of adjust and take a look, and you can see that I'm kind of pressing down and feeling as well to see where it looks like our design is, and that looks pretty good. So I'm pressing this corner down, and then I'm just going to kind of pop the parchment paper out. It doesn't really actually stick. It stuck more to the window cling than anything. And then I'm just going to turn it a little bit so it's easier to pull this out. And you can see I'm kind of pulling it out little bit by little bit and then pressing my hand down onto the vinyl. It just helps kind of keep it from getting any bubbles. Now this is going to have a little texture to it because the window cling has a little bit of texture to it, but it's still going to look so cool once it's up. So I'm going to go ahead and press this down. I'm going to squeegee this down onto our window cling. And then I'm going to roll my window cling and my transfer tape and everything off of my mat. And the transfer tape really does like to stick to your mat, so just keep that in mind. And then we're going to kind of get everything to come off our mat together. And the window cling also very much likes to stick to the mat, so just be aware of that as well. Go ahead and peel that off. Set your mat over to the side, and then go ahead and flip this back over, and you're going to take your transfer tape off of your vinyl and your window cling, just like you would if you were removing this from any other kind of a product that you used vinyl on. So again, you want to go pretty slow. This one does have a lot of little pieces and things, lots of edges, so I just like to take my time. All right. So it's all removed, but first off, it's super sparkly just from the vinyl itself, but wait until you see this on a window. It's amazing. Now, when I tell you the rainbow is really hard to capture, I'm not kidding. First off, it's Ohio, so it's not super sunny, but when these are in direct sunlight, they shine like crazy. To install it on your window, simply make sure that you clean your window with some Windex or other window cleaner. Then what I like to do is leave the window just a little slightly damp, and then take that window cleaner rag that I used and just dab it on the back of the window cling, and then it sticks perfectly to your window. This also sticks to acrylic as well, so you really have lots of options on where to put it. Now, I'm going to take it outside in a second. It's a little bit easier to see the rainbow, but again, it's still really hard to capture on film. It's so pretty, so fun, and I feel like you could really do a lot with these. They're really cool in cars, too. You can put them on the inside of your car window, and it won't damage your tint because it's not adhesive. It's all done with like a static cling type of situation. So you can see here I have it on a piece of acrylic so that you guys can get a better look at what it looks like in direct sunlight. If you guys have any questions, please let me know in those comments down below. Everything that we used to make these sun catcher window clings is linked in the video's description. Just click that little arrow to expand that information. Be sure to subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out on any of my other fun, crafty content. I hope you guys have a wonderful day, and as always, happy crafting!